Hello friends, welcome to Creators Christmas Merry and Bright Open House. Please check out all of the creators in the playlist in my description box. And I hope you enjoy what Terry is doing today.
QR codes of all of our sellers in there. So what I did on the cookbook is it is desserts and cookies and candies. It's a holiday cookbook. And I thought, oh, what a way to bring people to Virtual Home Decor Marketplace and give us their email so I can email them our schedule, but to give them a free cookbook if they give me their email address, and I can notify them as all the good things happening on the marketplace. And then I was like, there had to have been an easier way than what I just did it. But it looks pretty. I hope you guys come over and visit Virtual Home Decor Marketplace. I will have the link up by Friday. And it's a great group of crafters who used to, and some of them still do. Some people went back to selling at craft shows. Look at this one that I did yesterday while I'm getting out my tinfoil inside my Painting for Profits group. I have never liked nutcrackers. Never in a million years would I have ever bought a nutcracker in my life. But, I don't know, I'm kind of liking nutcrackers actually at this moment. And then I painted him, so this was my prototype, just kind of figuring out what I was going to do. And then last night inside the group, I showed them on a big 18-inch round. Then I think I'm going to do this in blue, because this is an ornament hanging off of his baton, and I want to personalize it here. Like I said, personalizing is what sells it. Diane, you know what? They did put me back on steroids, because then I had infection from having too many antibiotics, blah, 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 you know, all the things. And they keep telling me, take Mucinex DM. And I was like, that sounds like something that's going to put me to sleep. And I don't want to sleep. I'm pretty good with, you know, I want the feel goods. I want to be able to still work even though I'm sick. So I took the Mucinex DM, and it's pretty good stuff. So I'm just going to do a simple snowman. And when I'm painting something, I love painting like this because I don't know how to draw. But I can come in here with just some shading and form my snowman. So it's kind of like a person would probably draw with one of those fancy pencils. But in order for me to make anything really look good is by seeing the colors as I'm laying them down. So, and my husband did a project of a snowman for me for my group. And then, so the way we do it is, if this was a plain piece of wood and I wanted to cut the snowman out, I would have him give me a piece of wood. I paint it on like this, and then he cuts it out. And until I did a little reel video of my husband doing that, I guess I never realized that most people have it cut out first and then they paint it. But that is kind of like doing it backwards for me. So I was shocked when I got, you know, those messages. It's like, why do you do it that way? And I'm like, you don't? I just thought you know, now on a piece like this, you're not cutting out, so it's different. But when I took the, like this was another nutcracker that I did. So he gives me a board, I paint it, and then he takes it to the bandsaw and cuts it out. Because I don't know what I want until I have it painted. And I couldn't draw that out. That would be foreign to me. It makes you cough and strangle. Well, my sinuses are pretty darn clear, so I'm pretty happy, actually. And it hasn't made me tired, so that's a plus. I'm tired of feeling tired all the time. That's the worst thing about being sick, is just not having the energy to get anything done. And I like having energy. I love working. I don't want to lay in bed and watch TV. Oh, Colleen, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Much, much better. So, I'm done with my time of being sick. So, as I was telling you, Craft Around the Clock has lots of great projects that they are teaching you to do. You know, remember back in the day when you went to craft shows? You had to go to craft shows for inspiration. And so you'd walk around and try to take a picture, but you tried to be inconspicuous because nobody liked you taking their pictures of their products. Which I still don't say you go make their products, but here they're teaching you how to do it. We're teaching you. Here's how you make a snowman on a board. It's so much easier to be a creative today than it was when I started 25 years ago. Much, much easier. Inspiration all over Pinterest, all over the place. And you know, I can teach ladies how to paint all day long inside of my group, but we all paint differently. I don't care if it's the same line drawing. It's really hard to make your project look like anybody else's. You know, I've had 3 things picked up by Temu, but when it comes down to it, there are so many designs out there anymore, so many patterns, so many digital transfers that weren't there 5 years ago. Now it's like, oh, so much inspiration out there. And now you don't have to wait for that 1 week of Carol Duvall. You got, how many people are on here a day? Every 45 minutes. I bet there's close to 15 or 20 different creatives every single day for you to learn from. And everything used to be so secretive. Back when I started my paint group in 2020, I thought I had all these secrets to bring to the table. And then it's like, they're not secrets anymore, because then you teach people those secrets and they teach those people secrets. And it's like, you can share it with whoever you want, because I remember back in the day, I was the crackle queen. You guys, I crackled 8-foot signs, and this has been 15 years ago. That's all I made for my craft booths, was I crackled long 1x6 by 4-foot signs. I painted all the cute sayings, you know, that you may still have hanging on your wall, so I'm not going to judge. I just painted so many, I could never look at those sayings again. And when I saw it on a Facebook meme one time, somebody had, my daughter sent it to me, and she goes, I'm putting this on your headstone. And it said, I lived well, I laugh often, and I loved much. Come sit with me. And I'm like, that would wrap up a few years of my life on the craft show circuit. I could paint 8 of those signs every hour while I was watching Carol Duvall for, you know, that little bit of time that you had her. I think that's when, after Carol Duvall, must have been Judge Judy, and that's how I got stuck on Judge Judy after that. But it is live well, laugh often, love much, sit long, talk much. Sit long, talk much. I'm losing it. Always kiss me goodnight. Laundry today, naked tomorrow. Welcome to my porch. Come sit on my porch. And then the husbands would sit there and laugh and say, I'm not putting that on my porch because I don't want nobody to come sit on my porch. I'm good. Let them all go away. So I was the queen of crackled signs, and everybody back then, it's when Hobby Lobby came out with those little tiny bottles of crackle. And my crackle was amazing. I could, if I wanted big, wide crackle, I could make it that way. If I wanted real thin lines so it didn't look very much, I could do it that way. And everybody would come, how do you crackle? I need to know how to crackle. Well, I'm not going to tell you how I crackle, because then you're going to come up and be my competitor next time I see you. So I never told them that I never used crackle. I used school glue, not even Elmer's glue, because Elmer's glue is too thick. I never told them that I love to do it out in the sunlight. And now, you know, everybody kind of knows those tricks. I have not parted with one secret. I haven't even parted with it in my group, and I haven't even done it for a long time. But the crackle. Anyway, so then they'd ask, and then I would lie. I'm gonna be honest with you, I lied to people. I said, oh, I buy that little bottle of crackle medium, you know, that Hobby Lobby that's like $3 or $4. And one bottle only gets me about one board. And then, of course, you have to use, or I always used, a foam brush. And I said, oh, you take one of these bristle brushes. And then they'd come back and say, that doesn't work for me. And I'm like, oh, maybe you're not using your blow dryer right. You sure the temperature was right outside? But now you guys are lucky because there are no secrets anymore. People spill their guts. It's like, here you go. So life has changed since the craft show world. For $5, go away and you're not welcome here. They decoupaged everything. Well, I'm really happy that so many people are getting into the crafting world, because back in 2008, 2009, it was getting to be where it was me and two other painters showing up at the same shows. Everybody ditched over to the vintage stuff and pulled stuff out of their grandpa's garage and wanted more for it from grandpa's garage than what I was getting for it painted. So I am very happy to see so many more people painting, because, and actually it's really a dying art. No matter how many we have, I know what my ideal customer audience base is based on our sales in virtual home decor marketplace and my stats, and my audience is 65 and older, hands down. I don't even try to advertise to anybody under 55. Just not there. So crackled signs, and I would get 8 of them done in an hour at $40 a piece. And this was back when we did a 10-day show, and I would sit for 10 hours a day, make 8 signs an hour, which was 80 signs a day, and we would sell out of them. And then a couple of years later, China started importing all their signs, and my business died after that with the sign business. And then the crackle went away, and now look at it. Crackle's back. I don't think I could ever do crackle again after doing all those signs, but it's back. Along with a lot of other things I never thought would come back. But it is nice to see people being so creative, and now, you know, because we were kind of nasty back in the day. Some people were even worse than me, you know. How many of you heard of the person getting up and grabbing somebody's phone and destroying it because they're taking pictures of their stuff? If those people could only see that it's all over the internet now. I mean, it is. But I think it's enjoyable now to share what we've learned. But at one time, that was not. Things have changed so much since then. So this would be something, I just wanted to make it nice, easy. Because if you're doing a craft show, you got to do a lot of them. And then at the craft show, I would write in big letters right across here. The Burtons, whatever it is they wanted, they don't even really care what it looks like when they got their name on it. They're just happy to have something with their name on it. And they don't care. They're just looking to buy something. And so I used to take my paintings like this because sometimes you don't have time to paint real detailed. Then I've had all of my artwork scanned for the past, it's been about 18 years now. Anything I've painted on a surface like this gets scanned because I knew someday technology would catch up with me. If I want a cold mouth or if I want a line mouth, yep. And now we have the machinery that can take my scans, because before I would just have them printed off, have them professionally scanned, printed off, and glue them on wood. That's how I did almost all of my stuff. Was glued on. And I used heavyweight paper. I wasn't messing around with rice paper. It was how I was able to wholesale my product. And it was how I survived doing 35 to 40 shows a year. Because I not only had to make a living for me, but 2 years after I started, I was doing so well that my husband quit his job. And we have made it crafting a full-time business for 25 years. I quit in 99, he quit in 2001. And it's been a great job for both of us. That one won't fit, but I can fix that. So once I am finished, all you have to do is swipe the screen down with your finger. If you're on your phone, just swipe down and enjoy the Choose Joy Crafts and Creations is on after me. And then after everybody's done, you can go back to Craft Around the Clock and you can watch all the replays you want. I think she puts them up in the featured category. You might check that, but yeah, I'm going to say there's at least 15 a day times 5 days. That's 75 sessions a week. I bet she's close to 100 a week, actually. That's a lot of binge watching. And they're all very good. They all have a different style. I don't care if they're all decoupaging a napkin. They all have different ways. They have all different ways of what they put it on. They have different ways of I mean, nobody's the same, which is, you know, pretty much the same no matter what you create. But there's definitely I was not a good painter when I started. Never. I was not born a painter. Nothing. I had to learn it. And most of it, I took 3 paint classes in my life, and the rest I had to teach myself. So mine isn't exactly how everybody else does it, but it works for me. So there's so much to be said for the crafting community now. So many different ways to make money doing it. Every once in a while I'll wake up early in the morning, like 6 or 7 o'clock, and I see somebody on Craft Around the Clock, and I'm just like, oh, I wish I could be like you and get up out of bed. But I'm going to go back to sleep for a little while. I don't know how they do it in the morning. I love the late night spots. I would not be very creative in the morning. You know what? I don't know that I like having the white background. I think once I'm done here, I'm going to go around and make my background dark blue. I think it'll pop it out better. Actually, before I close all that up in the center, he needs something here in the middle, so just put in another snowman. And make scarf on this one more light blue. I got some time. I'm good. All right. So he'll be a double snowman on this one. Put some shading in to pull this off of the white. Yep. I could tell I contaminated my brush on that stroke. And this little one, we'll put earmuffs on. And I think I will let her right across him. Let me show you real quick what the background will look like. While we wait for that little guy to dry. And some people are really good about doing their background after they paint it. I don't like to do that. I would rather go over it white or paint my whole background dark blue and then put my white on top of the dark blue. I watch so many people do it this way, and this way, it's not a good way, but I like that dark blue background. So when I get done with this, I'm going to place it for sale over on Virtual Home Decor Marketplace. And that's a group I started with the people inside of my painting group. And we are on year 4 of holiday sales. We have live sales every weekend. And we have Buy It Now post every day. And I will be going and putting this inside of a Buy It Now post. And if you like to buy crafts more than make them, it's a great group that we started when COVID came about and we lost our craft shows. So we are now, we've taken our craft shows online. So it's like, I really want some of the ladies next time they do a live sale to post behind the scene pictures, because some of them have studios set up in their homes. They've dedicated a room, and when you go in there, all their product is like it will be when they go in for a live sale. And it's really cool behind the scenes. So I need them to post that. Oops. Because as a crafter, I know for myself, I'm sure there are a lot of crafters who are very neat. And it's like, it just takes over my whole dining room. That's why I got my own building, because I'm tired of having it in my house. So it's now they have a studio in their house. They just leave their craft booth set up all the time, because we sell live every weekend of the year except from Christmas to January. That's the only break we have. We have live sales every single weekend. It's incredible the way we have worked that group. Because you can make all the stuff you want. You got to be able to sell it to continue. Hi, Kathy. Oh, thank you, Pat. You got a spot in your husband's garage. Hi, Melody. So Marianne posted the link to the marketplace if you're interested in going over there. You don't even have to buy. You can see a bunch of stuff that they no longer take to their craft show booth. Wouldn't it have been nice back 15 years ago if I could have come and got all that inspiration from watching a craft booth online compared to having to go to a craft booth and you don't know what the weather is and you get out there. And I would have, if I was still doing craft shows, I would have been in Kimmswick, Missouri last weekend. And Friday we had our heat on, and Saturday it was the coldest Halloween we have had in years. I would have been sitting outside in a tent. What did I do there? With my parka on, my heater up underneath my table, and all the things. My husband, who still thinks we should do a craft show one time, is like, aren't you glad? Aren't you glad you're not out there in that cold? I mean, the people still came, whether it was cold, whether it was hot, they didn't care, but my days of sitting outside trying to sell something are completely over. So I've got a course coming up as well on how to sell live on Facebook and all the tips and tricks that we've learned in 4 years, putting that group together. It's kind of like our training manual that we use whenever anybody joins the marketplace, because we're always looking for people to sell as well, either in only buy it now post or in live sales. They usually start on buy it nows, but then they, we have some that will cross over and find out that selling online isn't near as scary as what they thought. There's so many different people out there. I figure half our audience, when they're watching this, are watching because they want, some inspiration and some new ideas. And then the other half just want to buy. It's like, I don't want to. It's kind of like me and the lady down the street with the bakery. If you're going to sell me a tray of the pumpkin spice bars for $14, I'm gonna buy it from you. I'm not too worried about going in and trying to make those pumpkin bars, because mine aren't gonna taste near as good as yours. And I would much rather pay somebody $14 to make me a good tray of something that I would normally burn, and I just don't have the desire. So it's kind of the same thing in both worlds. You like to have it, but you don't want to do it. That's it. I also want somebody to come and scrub my kitchen floors, I don't want to do that either. I get my husband to do a lot, but kitchen floors aren't one. So, we give up things to do what we love, and, Oh, I bought from Deborah. She's a new seller over on the marketplace. Do you know, as much crafting, or I don't really craft, but as much as I do, I bought from her yesterday a bottle. It was just like an alcohol bottle of some kind, but it was very ornate. And I love Highland cows. And I can't decoupage a napkin to save my life. It is just a wrinkled mess. I don't have the patience or the ability, and I don't want to glue a napkin. But I would much rather pay somebody to do that, because I struggle with stuff like that. I can paint you anything you want, pretty much, but you don't want my napkin or something. So, it's much easier for me to buy that from somebody else because I want it. I've learned from going to craft shows that I could sit there and say, I could do that, and then I don't. And then I'm like, I should have just bought the darn thing. Kind of like when you walk away from the bakery and you look at that thing of pumpkin squares, and then you go home and say, I should have spent the $14, now they're closed, and now I'm hungry, and what the heck. Because that always happens. So, always happens. Because, you know, if you're a crafter, you know that you'd go to craft shows and then the husbands would always talk the wife out of it and say, oh, I can make that for you. You know what? You know what we missed out on? If you ever did craft shows, where we missed out on money, we should have sold them a supply list. What the heck? We should have printed out a picture and a supply list and said, hey, if you want to go home and make this, here's everything you need to know on how I made that. It'll be $5, please. And you know what? You would have made oh my gosh, I just thought of that. That is the most ingenious idea. If any of you do craft shows, I would do that because you know the odds on them making that is pretty much nil and none, but at least you got $5 for that picture. That's what I should, man, I would do another craft show like that. I love it when somebody else does the work for me. Melissa knows I can't bake. I did have a cleaning lady, and I didn't like how she did it, so. It's kind of like anything else. Do you ever do anything and then you're like, yeah, I could have, I don't know, there's just some things, I think, especially with your house that, I don't know. My husband hired me a house cleaner when I was pregnant with my daughter because I could hardly move. I was so huge. And so I spent the night cleaning. I didn't want her to come into my house to clean. So when she came, I was like, oh, you can wipe down the cabinets and you can go over the toilet that I've already cleaned and, you know, do the baseboards. You can dust, okay? That's what I gave her to do because I didn't want anybody coming into my house and then it's a complete wreck. So I wasn't very good. And then when she dusted and she put the things back, they were turned around the wrong way. And it's like, no, I can't do that. But of course I was pregnant, so my emotions were probably 10 times higher. Now I doubt if I would care. These little wires between but I gotta get back to feeling better. I've got so many projects I want to do, so make sure that you're following my page. I'm hoping to be back with my husband on Sunday night on a Paint for Profit episode to paint that great big coffee pot that I've been putting off because I knew that not feeling well, my creativity just wasn't up to par to deal with it. So, and I got the cutest Coca-Cola beverage refrigerator, and it's probably only 18 inches tall. It's adorable. I'm going to paint it with Snowman. Supply list is idea. They're going to take it anyway. Why not just give them the pattern? I need all the things too. But you know what? Now that I have my own little shop across the road, I don't see it, so I don't worry about it. And my husband pretty much does a good job of keeping the house clean because I'm not over there making a mess in it. My husband is the exact opposite of me. He can keep everything clean, neat, or he knows where every darn thing in the world is. That's not me. But, yeah, shoot. When they come up right beside your project set, you know, remember at, what store was it? I know we used to have a Prairie Gardens. And when you went in, they had the supply sheet right there beside the project. Only theirs were free. I ain't giving mine away for free. But you want to do this? Here's your supply list because you're going to sit there and draw it out on a napkin and it's going to go in your pocket and you're never going to remember what it was and you're going to totally forget what it looked like. and you don't want to be seen taking a picture, and no matter how you take a picture, somebody's going to figure it out that you're taking a picture. Do you know how many $5 sheets I would have bought? I'd have bought a lot of $5 sheets. There, see, for tuning in tonight, you got the best idea ever. Yes, Sheila, you will just swipe up. In fact, I think I'm about done. Marianne, I never carried cards because I didn't want to have to deal with special orders. I was just, give me $5 and I'll tell you how to make it. All right, ladies, all you have to do, because I know the next creator is up, and that is Choose Joy Crafts and Creations. I'm going to sprinkle this, and then I'm going to sit here, I'm going to finish it up, and I'm going to put it over on Virtual Home Decor Marketplace. And I'm going to put diamond dust and all the pretty things on it, and I will have it for sale over there. Okay? Degree temperatures, at least we don't have snow. I don't know, it's gotta be something more that I'm missing here. That's why I gotta get back to painting. I'm starting to, it's getting hard to keep up after being sick for so long. Hi, Melody. I know, isn't that the craziest thing? Wow, Luetta. Good for you. That's dedication and team support. I loved football for a while. Once they did away with Jim McMahon, I never watched it again. And I want to put some, I haven't figured out what else to put on here, but I'm really tempted to put a Christmas tree behind him. But if I put a Christmas tree behind him, I got to repaint my snowman. But I think it'd look cute. So we are gearing up. Oh my gosh, you guys, have you seen what's going on the marketplace this weekend? Well, for one thing, tomorrow's the auction. And if you like hand-painted stuff like this, the marketplace is full of stuff right now. People are posting, the sellers in the group are posting buy it now items because we have some amazing creatives coming into the group this weekend, around Saturday. So tomorrow's our auction. Saturday morning, we're getting up, and starting at 10 a.m., we have Michelle Shad is kicking it off with a project. And after each of the creatives are done with their project showing you how to make things, they're going to auction their item off at the end of each of them. I love it when we let creatives do that. And because then it gives you, a chance to buy something that they've made. You guys all watch them. Kind of like the celebrities in the creative world. And we have, so Michelle's up with Crafty Servings, Donna with Donna on a Whim. She makes wreaths. We've got Chris Hunter with Creating with Chris Hunter. We have Anna with J&A Woodcrafts. She is so much fun to watch. Tanya with Hummingbird Paintery. I love seeing another painter, how they paint. And she Tanya is really a great painter. She can make some really cool items from nothing. So she is amazing to watch at painting. We have Deb with Art and Grace. And Deb, I don't know what she'll be doing, but I love her resin art. And then we have the Crafty Brother with Justin. And Kathy with Royal Funky Junk. And I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. I was kind of hoping to find one more person to make 9 because I didn't know if I was going to feel very creative on Saturday, but I'm going to do the last spot on Saturday. So whatever I make, I will be, that's how I need to do that coffee pot. I haven't felt great about creating for the past 2 or 3 weeks since I've been sick. But everybody's waiting for me to paint that coffee pot. And that may be, I only got 45 minutes, so I will have to come on here first. And get it to that point where I only add in the details. So there, it starts at 10 o'clock. We end at 5 o'clock with all the creatives. And then the live sales start. And we have the best sellers over there that, I always say Virtual Home Decor Marketplace is the place where all the best crafters are there. It's like the ultimate craft show. I got it in there, not too bad. So they sell Saturday night, and then they come back on Sunday night, and you can watch the replays until Tuesday night. And I'm trying to think, and I'm trying to paint at the same time, and sometimes those don't work. And sometimes when you feel you've lost your creativity, you just pick up a paintbrush and start painting, no matter what. Turned out good. I like that. That made a big difference. Wow, Luetta, you've got a whole family in there in Michigan playing football. Melody, that was us too. Last Friday, we had the air conditioner on. Saturday, we had the heater on. It was cold, it was gray, and if I wouldn't have been online selling my stuff, I would have been in Kimmswick, Missouri at the Apple Butter Festival doing an outdoor craft show. It was an amazing craft show, and people showed up no matter the weather, so you couldn't miss it. But I spent most of my weekends there sick as a dog, trying to keep warm, having a heater under the table, coughing on everything. It was just miserable, and I thought of that this year because here it was cold, it was gray. So I would have been outside all day Friday, setting up my booth in the heat. And then Saturday, all bundled up in my winter coat, my heater going. Now I know how I got sick doing those, but I think I can pull that off of there now. put some black in my tree and go back over it again with some white in a minute. But at least she tested me for COVID on Monday, and it wasn't COVID. She tested me anyway because she said there were so many people in our town that had it. So that was one good thing. Okay, we're going to let all those dark colors